We see the instant pivot into Tyrant. That is taking super effective from the Fairy Wind damage. The opponent stays in, farm up to a potential energy ball. Summers respects it, putting up that protect shield, correctly shielding up the energy ball. He then fires off one Dragon Tail and the Ancient Power, looking to nuke this Jumpluff from the sky. We get the low battery warning, but still able to farm down afterwards. Welcome back to the channel. We are currently in a Team Rocket Takeover event, which makes me a very happy chappy, as we have finally some new toys to play with in the Go Battle League. If you're new to the channel, my name is Jamie Finn 1415, and I was the first documented trainer in the world to reach Legend rank only using Shadow Pokémon. I achieved that way back in Season 8. So what that entailed was me using Shadow Pokémon every single battle, every single league, and achieving Legend rank. I actually did that 6 seasons consecutively, and to be honest, I'm just mad for Shadow Pokémon. What I love about them, I love how hard they hit and how glass they are. I think it makes battles insanely fun, and today we're taking a look at not one, but 2 of the new additions. For those of you that play Show 6, stuff like Battle Frontier and stuff like Sylph, you'll know that Tyrant has always been a very good pick in certain limited metas. The Retro Cup seems to be one of the metas where it can certainly perform, as both Fairies and Steels are banned, meaning Dragon is currently unresisted. Ice type damage is currently coming at a premium in the Retro Cup because people are hiding behind their bulky meta monsters such as Jumpluff and Clodsire. My friend King GBL was not only able to achieve Legend rank, but also gained 300 elo in a single day using Shadow Aurorus as soon as it dropped. Amaura, unlike Aurorus, has access to Thunderbolt, which is kind of a get out of jail free card against bulky water types such as Jellicent, Blastoise and even Toxapex. This intro as always going on for far too long, so without any further ado, let's get into the battles! And in game 1, today's featured battler, my good friend, my factions teammate and Discord moderator Summers, who was formerly known as Cutlass Boy, but I'm probably going to call him time and time again, because I'm old and you can't teach an old dog new tricks, has found himself a problem, and its name is Metachan. Primeape taking super effective from the Psycho Cut damage, whilst hitting for resisted with a Karate Chop to the backline. Also doesn't fancy getting Dynamic Punch to the face as we're running a double rock strategy. The thing with Primeape though, it's got access to that magical ghost fighting coverage that is currently unresisted in Pokemon Go and actually hits Metachan back for super effective. Cutlass Boy invests both Protect Shields, forces both Protect Shields off the fighter, and it looks like he's happy to sack his lead and hope the Rock Boys can sweep the backline. Out comes Tyrant, the opponent pivots out into Artabax, the opponent going to get outpaced to that Dragon Claw. Artabax going to make a very brief cameo appearance, getting knocked out with the Dragon Claw. The opponent then sends out Drifblim. We see the pivot into Amaura. The opponent doesn't commit to the Shadow Ball, recognising Amaura would be able to knock him out with the Weather Wall, just settles for the Icy Wind, but Trainer, that simply is not going to cut it. Amaura overfarms, fires off the Weather Ball. Get that balloon off my screen. Back out comes Metachan. Amaura going to claim back-to-back victims. And Summers, aka Cutlass Boy, is off to a 1-0 start. GG's, and thanks for playing. Heading into the next battle, we see Primeape into the Kentucky Fried Chicken, Bird of Death. We've got Double Rock in the back, so arguably 2 better responses. Amaura is an Ice and Rock type, meaning would take neutral from the Incinerate damage. Cutlass Boy stays in, fires off the Rage Fist. Rage Fist does monstrous damage as Primeape hits like a truck. The opponent fire off the Flame Charge, vamping up their attack, 2 Karate Chops and the next Rage Fist for optimal fast move timing. And Primeape actually knocks out. I was expecting a Protect Shield, but the opponent had other ideas. Out comes Tropius. Tropius gonna tank the boosted Rage Fist, no problem whatsoever, but we now have the correct alignment. Amaura hitting for double super effective with the Powder Snow damage. The opponent pivots out, banking their energy, and send out Dust Noir. Summers finds himself in a problematic spot as Dust Noir can hit both our remaining Pokemon for super effective with that Dynamic Punch. And Leaf Blade is going to do a lot to both our Rock types. Tyrant actually only takes neutral as Dragon does resist Grass and Rock does take super effective. The opponent fire off the Shadow Punch. Shadow Punch isn't enough to get the job done. Tyrant enters the field of play, commits that Protect Shield, also getting baited with the Shadow Punch, and back out comes Tropius. Cutlass Boy going to farm up, fire off the Dragon Claw. The question now becomes, how bulky is Shadow Tyrant? Do we tank a Leaf Blade? Come on, Tyrant, I believe in you, buddy. Leaf Blade! Oh, gets us low. Doesn't get the job done. The opponent is doubled up. Opt to fire off the next Leaf Blade. Aurorus on fractional HP, able to Powder Snow farm down, and we take that game. Heading into the next battle, we see Jumpluff in the lead. It's a no thank you from Summers and a safe switch into Tyrant. The opponent stays in, farm up to what could be an Energy Ball. I think in this meta, Energy Ball is quite viable. In the Open Great League, most do run that double flying moveset. We correctly shield up the energy ball, fire off one Dragon Tail and the Ancient Power. Ancient Power, force our Protect Shield back. We get the boost. Hello. The opponent actually catch the boosted Dragon Claw onto Quagsire, but that Dragon Claw instantly rocks them below half health. 3 boosted Dragon Tails have almost done all of Quagsire's HP. Tyrant going absolutely ham in this battle. Summers sends out Primeape, Karate Chop farms down, back out comes Jumpluff. Summers makes good use of the misaligned timers, not only catches the Aerial Ace, but also now has his Ice and Rock Boy switch locked against Jumpluff. Did Jumpluff reach the departing energy ball? Summers says yes, the opponent only fire off the Aerial Ace, and out comes Toxapex. Is that miscount going to cost Summers this battle? Whilst Thunderbolt is super effective, the opponent has a shield to hide behind, and they correctly shield at the Thunderbolt. Rock is weak to water. Is Brian enough to knock out Amaura? Oh my days, 1 HP and a Dream Baby hangs on, reaches the next Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt rocks the opponent into the yellow health range. Primeape hits the field of play, fires off the Rage Fist. Rage Fist isn't going to get the job done. There's going to be a race. Can the opponent reach the Brian before the next Rage Fist? They cannot. Primeape is a Toxapex counter confirmed, and Summers is going to be emerging victorious. GG's, and thanks for playing. Heading into the next battle, we lead Shadow Primeape into Aurorus. What a lead. The opponent needs to get out. The opponent stays in, fire off a Powder Snow, and then send out their own Primeape. This essentially is where our team wants to see an opposing fighter, so I'm going to anticipate Summers are looking to stay in. I'll be interested to see how Summers plays this. If we go down both Protect Shields here, Aurorus could run for our backline. Tyrant would take super effective from the Weather Ball, and Meteor Beam, have no doubt, will be one-shotting our Amaura. The opponent ends up giving us a get out of jail free card, getting super greedy, trying to Karate Chop farm down our Primeape, unable to do so. Summers not only has switch, but also a shield advantage too. Out comes Shadow Jumpluff, and Amaura hits the field of play. We see the instant shield deployed, potentially blocking up an energy ball. The opponent go for the Aerial Ace bait. Is that bait gonna save this opponent's fate? No catch attempts made. Weather Ball will be moving Jumpluff from the field of play, and we see the battle of the big brother versus the little brother. Summers able to outpace to the Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt will be rocking the opponent into the red health range. The opponent going to fire off the Meteor Beam. Can they reach a Weather Ball before we Dragon Tail farm them down? Let's go Tyrant. Let's go Tyrant. Tyrant gets that farm down, and we take that game. Heading into the next battle, we see Primeape into Corsola. We throw one Karate Chop and then look to utilise Tyrant on the safe switch. Tyrant wastes no time, goes straight for the Dragon Claw. Looking to fire off the first charge move of the game. Dragon Claw actually does a lot of damage, to be honest. Corsola is one of the bulkiest mon in the meta. We shield up the Nightshade. The opponent obtains himself a shield advantage and send out Cradilly. Tyrant going to release the Dragon Claw. This almost certainly goes unshielded, as they know this Cradilly is going to be food for Primeape. Dragon Claw once again looks like a decent move, to be honest. Dragon Claw isn't the hardest hitting move, but these shadows do really make it look decent. We're able to get Cradilly into the yellow health range. Primeape hits the field of play. We don't commit to the full farm down, instead looking to fire off the Rage Fist and vamp up our attack. Down goes Cradilly. Corsola re-enters the arena. After tanking that Dragon Claw, they've certainly found themselves in a range where a boosted Rage Fist will be lethal. Rage Fist goes unshielded. The opponent sends out Skeledirge. We bank a buckload of energy and send out Amaura. The opponent very much in the driver's seat, but let's not write Summers off yet. Amaura pretty uncommonly seen. Potentially we force a shield here, as the opponent doesn't know the moveset and think this is some kind of rock move, which it isn't. That's step 1 achieved. Primeape's now insanely low. Step 2 will be us surviving a boosted Incinerate. Primeape's insanely glassy. Can we survive the boosted Incinerate? Yes, we can. Step 3 is the opponent shielding the first Rage Fist, which of course you cannot do. The opponent does invest that Protect Shield, potentially thinking it would be lethal. However, you've always got to tank the first, as subsequent ones will do more, and have no doubt that boosted Rage Fist picks up the dub. GG's. Heading into the next battle, we see Dusknoir in the lead position. This time we look to utilise Amaura on the save switch, and out comes Primeape. These Karate Chops are double super effective, and my god, look more like counter. The opponent heavily overfarmed before firing off the Rage Fist, look to pick up the knockout. Summers lightly enters the mirror, goes for the one shield, Karate Chop farm down, leaving with residual energy to threaten that returning Dusknoir. We see the instant shield deployed. Of course, I'm always rooting for Summers, but I would like to see the opponent tank that first Rage Fist, recognising subsequent ones after that will do more. The opponent does throw an alignment here, but I don't dislike that. Recognising they're going to put shield pressure on Summers. Summers now down both Protect Shields. The opponent clearly smarter than the last, do tank the first one. Summers fires off one Karate Chop and the Rage Fist. Rage Fist forces a Protect Shield back. Summers then farms up, looks to make a catch onto Tyrant. The catch not the cleanest, but thankfully it is just a Shadow Punch and not that super effective Dynamic Punch coverage. Out comes Blastoise. Summers tries to trap the opponent into the CMP tie. They do not win. However, the opponent smartly take the extra rollout. They look for the rollout farm down. No, actually play to CMP, but simply at this point it's too little too late. Down goes Blastoise. We Simul KO, Primeape is alive and well, and we take that game. I think the opponent in the last battle played really well until Blastoise hit the field of play. If they would have fired off the Hydro Cannon, one quick move before our Dragon Claw, they likely win that battle. In the next battle, we see Grumpig in the lead position. Primeape again absolutely melted by these Psy Waves. We see another opponent shield the first Rage Fist, so I'm anticipating the opponent just double shielding and fully Psy Wave farming down. Primeape fires off the boosted Rage Fist. The opponent tank the boosted one and shield the non-boosted. Very, very questionable. We're able to snipe with Tyrant and out comes Aurorus. We farms the Ancient Power, throw the Dragon Claw bait. Oh, stone cold no shield from the opponent. This now puts us in a very tricky spot. Weather Ball easily picks up the knockout on Tyrant. Primeape is low, but re-enters the arena and does make the opponent throw energy, potentially setting up Amaura a position to sweep the back line with a shield intact. The opponent instantly pivot out, interfere it, not wanting to give us any free energy. Trailblaze will be super effective. We're going to invest a Protect Shield, correctly shielding up the Trailblaze. How do we win this game? Triple Weather Ball, or maybe if the opponent shield this, a Thunderbolt that does do more, might knock out. That looks like the approach Summers is going for. Is a non-stab Thunderbolt enough to knock out? Oh, no it's not. Summers was messaging me yesterday. These battles are out of order, but he actually went 9-1 as soon as he powered up the two new Shadows, which is pretty insane. And we take our first loss of the showcase. Heading into the next battle, Altaria. What is that bloody thing doing on my screen? We say switch into Tyrant and out comes Oranguru. We are going to see Summers make a play at taking back switch advantage. If we can get Amaura aligned against Altaria, I think it's game over from there. Nice fast move time from Summers. One Dragon Tail, which is 3 turns, into one Confusion, only giving the opponent one free turn. Tyrant able to reach the next Dragon Claw, forcing the opponent all shields down. I guess we just bin Primeape at this point. That looks like exactly what Summers looks to do. Of course, we're not running Ice Punch. If we had Ice Punch, potentially Primeape would be an Altaria counter confirmed. We tank the Trailblaze, snipe with Amaura. We know Altaria cannot return, and out comes Dust Noir. The opponent throws 4 Astonishes and the charge move, feeding Amaura free energy, and this is just simply game over. One Powder Snow and the first Weather Ball. Weather Ball won't be lethal, but there is oh so much more where that came from. One further Powder Snow and the next Weather Ball. Dust Noir gets vanquished, one shot, sent back to its Pokeball. Back out comes Altaria. The Powder Snow has already done a lot, and this Weather Ball double super effective, and we take that game. Heading into the next battle, we see Swalot in the lead position. I love this design of a Pokemon. It's just a big pile of gunk with a mustache. What is there not to like? A dreadful lead, so we see the save switch into Tyrant. The Mud Shots are super effective, as will be the Ice Beam. The opponent bait with a Sludge Bomb like a savage, and then send out Claydol. This battle not really going according to plan. We fire off the Dragon Claw force of protection. The opponent gets a massive Mud Slap farm down. Nice to bait this thing out, I guess. So at least our Amaura doesn't have to see it. Back out comes Primeape. Summers calls the Rock Tomb bait. If that is a Scorching Sands, Ice Beam, Shadow Ball, this thing's got like a bazillion moves. Something that isn't a Rock type move, we would have been in big trouble. Summers huge cojones and Primeape looking to make the best of a dire situation. Able to reach the Rage Fist, removing them from the field of play. Out comes Shadow Star Raptor. What a pick from the opponent. I love this Pokemon, but this is not a matchup the opponent is favoured in. The opponent fire off the close combat, then send back out Swalot. Swalot will be running Sludge and Ice Beam. Believe it or not, two things that Amaura resist, despite its awful defensive typing. The Mud Shots will add up over time. What are they going to throw here? I guess Sludge is the better DPE move. Sludge is resisted and is survivable. Summers farms up, tries to catch the next move, onto Primeape unsuccessfully. Back out comes Amaura. The opponent doesn't go for the catch. Weather Ball picks up the knockout. Can we Powder Snow farm down Staraptor? We actually reached the Weather Ball, and Summers is going to be emerging victorious. I was not expecting Staraptor in the back. Fun team from the opponent. Heading into the next battle. Primeape into the Kentucky Fried Chicken. Bird of Death. It looks like the opponent got one turn lag there. You can tell that because it looks like we gave away 2 free turns despite throwing the correct 7 karate chops and the rage fist. The opponent continuing to farm up energy, enabling Primeape to reach the boosted rage fist, forcing the first protect shield of the game. Summer's able to reach 1 further rage fist. At this point, the opponent's got 100 energy. They're kind of obliged to go all in on Talonflame, and they do exactly that. Summers also falls victim of the crappy game, getting denied coming in, which is super unfortunate. Well, actually, to be honest, they probably survived that Dragon Tail, so it makes no difference. Whilst the game state isn't really influencing how this battle should be playing out, it would be nice if Niantic or Scopely made some attempt to fix this game. Out comes Primeape. We shield the Rage Fist. The opponent pivots out into Superior. Superior going to be chipped with the Dragon Tail. They snuck the Vine Whip. However, Amaura and Superior are going to pace at the same speed for Weather Ball and Frenzy Plant respectively. Weather Ball will be removing them from the field of play. The opponent needs to throw instantly or will reach the Weather Ball. Oh boy, it looks like the opponent there got one to bring in, which might have influenced how the game played out. Although, to be honest, I think a Rage Fist was survivable, and we take that game. This is why I'm always so vocal about game state currently. So if that Rage Fist would have knocked out Amaura, we would have got denied our energy, firstly, because they win CMP, and then secondly, if it was lethal, our Tyrant was so low, we would have definitely got Karate Chop farm down before we Dragon Tail farm them down. Heading into the next battle. We led Primeape into Swampert. The opponent caught the Rage Fist bait on their own Primeape. If we were forcing their close combat, the opposing Primeape would have been straight in and straight out. The boosted Rage Fist forced a Protect Shield. Summers able to one shield, Karate Chop farm down, and the opponent then concedes the match. Heading into the next battle. Another Kentucky Fried Chicken Bird of Death. Summers once again throws an optimal fast move timing. So what I mean about optimal timing for those of you newer to the game is giving the opponent minimal 3 turns, which of course is 1. So using a 2-turn move into a 5-turn move, you ideally want to throw 2 quick moves or 7. You can also throw 4, which is suboptimal, but sometimes you do need to do it just to get your energy off. As this opponent didn't stutter like the last one, they're able to one shield, fully incinerate farm down Primeape. We send out Tyrant to operate as the damage sponge. The opponent fire off the flame charge and then pivot out into Big Man Blastoise. We land the Dragon Claw, which does mean we can go for the one shield and Dragon Tail farm down. That looks like what Summers plans to do. We shield up the Hydro Cannon. One further Dragon Tail removes Blastoise from the field of play. Talonflame does have a move bank, but at worst is a Flame Charge or Fly. It cannot be a Brave Bird. They will require one further Incinerate for that. Out comes Ferret. We fire off the Dragon Claw forced to Protect Shield, and we see the pivot into Amaura. Where does Summers use his final Protect Shield? He's actually looking to call the bait here. The opponent fire off the Trailblaze, try to sack Talonflame. We Powder Snow farm him down. Back out comes Ferret. Ferret greeted with the Thunderbolt, and Thunderbolt is going to be all she wrote. GG's. Heading into the next battle, Primeape into Jumpluff. With no Ice Punch, an atrocious matchup. We see the Say Switch into Tyrant. The opponent farm up to what could be an Energy Ball, and we are going to see Summers respecting it, putting up that Protect Shield. We correctly shot the Energy Ball for a 1 Dragon Tail and the Ancient Power. Summers, charge your bloody phone. We actually end up undercharging unintentionally, but that does enable a Dragon Tail farm down. Out comes Marowak. We farms the Ancient Power, bait with the Dragon Claw. The opponent still refused the shield, and that Dragon Tail just does so much damage. Summers, recognising the opponent must be insanely weak to a Dragon Tail user, sacrifices Primeape to the Pokegods. Primeape near gets one shot by the Shadow Bone. The opponent saves Marowak, send out Clodsire, and it is Amaura time. Although we do need to be mindful an Earthquake would be picking up that one-hit KO. If we're being super fussy, Summers could have fired off the close combat. That does do more than neutral Rage Fist, and also would have given Clodsire 1 less Poison Sting, as it does debuff our own defense. Amaura going to respect the incoming Earthquake. Summers correctly shield up the Earthquake. Are we going to look to make a catch? Summers going to fire off the Weather Ball. Weather Ball should be forcing the opponent's final protection. We send out Tyrant. Tyrant able to reach the Dragon Claw. Is Dragon Claw going to knock out Clodsire? Yes, it is. Back out comes Marowak. The opponent looked to Hex farm down, leaving with a charge move, unable to do so, and we take that game. The tough leads continue. 1 Karate Chop and the Say Switch into Tyrant. The opponent sends out Gator. This isn't a bad matchup for us whatsoever. Hydro Cannon hits for neutral, but look how disgusting this Dragon Tail damage is. The opponent tanked the Dragon Claw, gifting Summers the opportunity to realign his Pokemon. He says, thank you very much, goes to the one shield, Dragon Tail farm down, and back out comes Emolga. Emolga's already below half health just from the Dragon Tail damage. They don't even shield the Dragon Claw trainer. What is going on here? The opponent opted in for the classic, save 2 shields for Typhlosion, hope to nuke everything, but unfortunately against the rock type you can't do that as Incinerate is resisted. The opponent might have 2 shields, but they will be saving them for next season. Thunder Punch knocks out Primate. We actually show him Amaura, get the resisted Powder Snow farm down, and take that game. Heading into the next battle, we see Roserade in the lead. I'm going to anticipate us pivoting out or potentially looking to catch a Weather Ball Fire. Primate might be attack weighted, but Roserade with even more impressive attack stats. We end up playing to the CMP tie. We do not win. We shield up the Weather Ball, return fire with the Rage Fist. Roserade, I often say don't shield the first move, but Roserade is bloody glassy, so I don't dislike the shield from the opponent. We then catch the next Weather Ball Fire onto Tyrant where it is resisted, and out comes Cleavor. This is such a spicy team for the opponent. Again, look at this disgusting Dragon Tail damage. The quick attacks are also resisted as Rock does resist normal. Just 5 Dragon Tails have done almost all their HP. That was sickening. The opponent fire off the Trailblaze, vamping up their attack and picking up the knockup. This attack boost is going to be short-lived as they're nothing but free farm for Primate. Primate Karate Chop farms down. Out comes Gligar, and I think this game is very much over. We fire off the Rage Fist. Rage Fist certainly puts them into boosted close combat range. The opponent can't even really catch as Roserade wouldn't appreciate the damage either. Close combat picks up the knockout. We pivot into Amaura. We're going to be able to outpace to the Weather Ball before the Leaf Storm's reached, and that is going to be all she wrote. GG's. And that is going to wrap things up for my first showcase of the new batch of Shadow Pokemon. A huge thank you to Summers, who I probably call Cutlass Boy time and time again because that was his former IGN, for submitting some very fun battles. The Team Rocket Takeover is here for around another 48 hours at the time of uploading this video, so make sure you go hunt some grunts. Even if you got Pokemon previously with Frustration, now is that time you can remove that very annoying charge move. I think both Tyrant and Amaura do have play, but they are more on the spicier side. But don't forget to remove one. There'll be certainly some limited metas where they'll have play. You can even see in the Retro Cup they're able to put in work, as Summers was able to go 9-1 right off the bat. I'm looking forward to using Malamar in the Ultra League when the Ultra League does return. But I'm yapping as always, so if you're enjoying the content, smash that like button if you're new, consider subscribing if you like your battles featured on my channel. A link to my battle submission form is down below, and as always, a huge thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.